Hi everyone, this is Andre from Localization Academy. In this hopefully short video, I want to give you sort of a demo of what I was able to create with Memsource API and Notion and Make in 39 sort of hours. I like Notion, I use Notion personally, and I wanted to bring the functionality of Memsource into Notion so that in a way the project managers could run, manage, monitor their projects directly from Notion. I'm going to show it to you step by step. So let's get right into it. First, to give you an overview of what we have in Notion, I have created 4 different databases for projects, for files under projects, for the jobs that match the jobs that will be created in Memsource, and finally a database to track all the analysis, the quotes, and all the data, including the dates. And then I have created these different views. Right now it's pretty much empty because we need to start working on it. What is not empty is that I have put the projects actually here in Notion. So this is where I'm creating everything. This is sort of like a front end. So the project manager in a way should only be interacting with Notion and doesn't even need to go to Memsource. So we have 3 different projects: Darkest Dungeon, Batman, and TikTok. Their status is new. Their due date is next Friday. Here we have the source languages, the target languages, and here we even have a selection for the workflow. So 2 of the projects have translation and review, and the last one, the TikTok wiki, only has translation. And then in the files, this is where I have the files. So the Batman and TikTok wiki, they only have 1 file each, but Darkest Dungeon has 2 files for the project. Now, let me show you quickly what we have in Memsource. In Memsource, we have pretty much this, nothing. And we also have a folder on Google Drive. I'm going to guide you through a bunch of scenarios that I created in Make. So Make is the platform that is sort of like a no-code or low-code way how you can connect different apps that don't have an existing connector between them. We're going to start with the first scenario, which is to create projects. So this basically picks up the projects from Notion and creates them in Memsource. And at the same time, it's going to trigger the next scenario, which creates the jobs. So I'm going to start this. Okay. And it also creates folders on Google Drive where we're going to later upload the target files. So this should already be running this scenario as well. So as soon as the project is created, we are adding the jobs into it. So the situation, how it looks like here in Memsource, I'll be refreshing this. You can see that the projects were created. They're all due May 13th. And if I open each one, I think you can see that the files have been already picked up from Notion and added to Memsource. And now everything should be created. So what has mainly changed here in Notion is that we have now all the information about the jobs in Notion. So this is used to basically mirror what we have in Memsource so that then we can update things in both Memsource and Notion. And under analyses, we have everything prepared, but we just need to fill it up with the numbers. At the same time, I'm going to also refresh the Google Drive. So we have created folders for each project. This is the Memsource UID, and this is currently empty. And we're going to add the target files once we finish the whole process. So normally I would run the analysis automatically once the jobs are created, but I paused this for a purpose so that I can show you where we are right now. So right now we're just missing the numbers. Now when I refresh the scenario, it should give me a bunch of things waiting in the queue. There we have it, 11 records waiting in the queue. So this scenario is triggered after Memsource tells us that the jobs were created. So I'm just going to turn it on and process all the existing things. And what this is going to do, it's going to start assigning the jobs to the providers, and also it triggers the analysis. And then we have a following scenario which will run automatically. That is this one. It's very, very long. And this one is the one that processes the numbers from the analysis. And this is the one that calculates all the different quotes. So that means how much we expect the client to pay for the individual jobs, and also how much the provider costs is going to be. So the scenario is already moving, and This is the beauty of it. And also what I forgot to mention to you, that this also does all the scheduling. So you can see already here, I'm not doing anything. It's done automatically. So the schedule is being created. So the way that I set it up is pretty much not super smart, right? Like we assume that everybody will be available and the first task will start tomorrow. So you can already see that the Darkest Dungeon into 3 languages has been scheduled. We have translation and revision for this one into 3 languages, and the status of these jobs is currently new. Now, what has also changed is we should be getting the numbers back. Yep, right here. So you can see the financials. So financials are coming in, so you can see the price calculated and the provider cost. And when I go and refresh the jobs in Memsource, you can also see that the jobs have been assigned to the providers, kind of like fake providers that I created. We have all the analysis and all the quotes here, and we took the information that we needed back into Notion. I think it should also work for the revision. Yep, so this is our revision, and it's also assigned to providers. So if I go back to this one, I think everything should be ready right now. So this is the point where maybe the project manager would look at the financials, and this is the one where we sort of aggregate the financials for the project, kind of like a higher level view, and this is where we can drill down into the different workflow steps and the target languages and see the individual things. We also have in the jobs database, which is kind of like a dev database, we also have the information about the providers, but I didn't bring it back to this view, although it would make kind of sense, right? Anyway, so at this point, let's imagine that the project manager would check the data, check the schedule that was automatically calculated based on the word count. By the way, we can also see the word counts. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. Here are the adjusted word counts. If I wanted to, I can even show it here on this timeline, like adjusted word count. It just adds it to this one, and you can just play with all the different information that you want to display on your schedule. So now what would happen is that the project manager would set the projects to ready to email, which would then be automatically picked up by Make. So it notices this change, and then it would email the things. And then another thing that we're going to do is we're going to simulate that the providers will accept the job, and once they accept the job, we're also going to continue the simulation, and we're going to pre-translate everything. And once everything is pre-translated, we're going to set all the jobs to complete. We're going to create the target files on the drive, and then we're going to indicate here for the project manager that the project is ready to deliver. So everything is very, very automated. So let me go back here. So we ran through these 4 scenarios. This is the scenario where I'm going to skip the emailing part, and I'm just going to run this one. So this is kind of like a helper to help me set all the jobs in Memsource as accepted. And once all the jobs are accepted, I have this bigger scenario which handles all the job status updates, the changes. And this is the node that takes care of the one where the providers have accepted it. So this is going to trigger the pre-translation, and then that's going to trigger another different scenario, because once pre-translation is finished, we're going to set the jobs to complete it by the linguist, which is going to jump into this node then once the jobs are set to complete it. And this is going to basically update the statuses in Notion as well. And it's also going to, let's say that the revision has been done as well. But more importantly, it's going to get the target files that we did, and it's going to put them into the structure that we have on Google Drive. And then once all the jobs have been processed, all the target files have been created, then it's going to just update the status of the project, this one, to ready to deliver. So this is all going to run at once. So hopefully it's going to work. So let me zoom out, and let's just run this one. Okay, so this is running through all the jobs that we have on Memsource, and it's accepting it. I think if I quickly try to refresh, yep, some of them are already accepted, and you should even start seeing changes here in Notion. So you can see that some of the jobs have been accepted. It works job by job. So that is this scenario, which takes care of the accepted and also completed jobs. So once it's accepted, like I mentioned, it's going to trigger pre-translation, which is going to trigger this scenario. So once pre-translation is finished, it's going to set the jobs in Memsource to complete it. So maybe we already have something completed. Yep, here we have for Darkest Dungeon, the translation is already completed. For the first file, let's see if we have any changes here. So Batman is also in progress, and this one is also completed. So slowly it's going to start coming back to Notion, the completion of everything. One thing, where are we? Okay, so here, now maybe pay attention to this one. So this is the node that takes care of grabbing the target files from Memsource, the final ones, and placing them to Google Drive. So once everything is done, and we already see some of the jobs are being set to complete it. Once everything is done, I'm just going to let it run here automatically. Once everything is done, we're going to jump into Google Drive so I can show you that the files are there. Right, are we finished? It looks like we are finished with everything. So what is the status? Okay, now you can see that all the projects have been set to ready to deliver. And here we even have links to the target files, which is actually everything that you can see here in the first one that I was showing you. So here we had Darkest Dungeon. Underneath we have created the folders for the target languages, and under each one we have actually the machine translated files, which are pretending to be final. So here you can see the Czech one. Let me show you maybe the Japanese spreadsheet. Yep, there we go. And the same goes for the other files. The Batman. There it is. Alright, that's the end of the demo. Like I mentioned in the beginning, in the intro, it took me kind of like 39 plus hours that I did everything in live stream. By the way, if by any chance you are so hardcore and you want to see the whole process, there will be a link below in the description to the playlist. Most of the videos, except for the first one, are set to unlisted, so you cannot find them on your own. But if you want to have a sneak peek into it, into how I struggled with putting everything together, you can do that. But the reason why I created this video is simply to demonstrate what is possible with the Memsource API and what you can do if you have something like Make. So these different connectors like Zapier, maybe Zapier is more known, so you can really connect anything that you want. And again, going back to why I recorded this video is that I would be very happy, I hope, to create more concise tutorial where I could explain to you the different parts of how this whole thing works. But because I don't want to spend time creating something that people really don't want, because this is, I would say, really technical. So let me know if you would be interested in that. And I'm not sure what the criteria will be for that. I'm thinking about maybe, I don't know, 100 likes or 100 comments, something like that. You'll find it below in the video. So let me know, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.